I'll bet that I introduce scales earlier than you do and later than you do. How's that possible? Well, just give me a minute and I'll share with you how I've done it for years. When students are at elementary stage 4, learning phrasing and articulation, I introduce the concept of hands together using a tetrachord scale. This is something I learned from Max Camp at University of South Carolina in pedagogy years ago, and this is the way he taught it. You put your hands up like this, hide your thumbs, put your hands together, wiggle fingers 5. Now, go up here and find 2 C's. A C for this finger and one for this one. Put your fingers down, no thumbs. Now play all those notes. Now, I say to the student, now listen to me. Chocolate pie, chocolate pie, chocolate pie, chocolate pie. Now, would you sing that with me? Chocolate pie. Now, would you play that with me? Chocolate pie. And I do a slower tempo. The whole thing needs to be slower so they can catch a slower tempo. And then my little part goes like this. 1, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 5, 1. And if you put it together, it would sound something like this. Now, admittedly, the student only gets to do the duet at the lesson, but it's a nice reward for learning the scale. And then I teach that in C, F, G, and then D, A, E, and E flat, A flat, B flat, and the remaining F sharp, B flat, and B. That is in the beginning of my folk tunes in All the Keys book, and I'm going to put a picture of this in comments. Find it in the comments on Facebook. You're welcome to copy it and use it with your students anytime you want to. I teach my students late like this. Between this tetrachord scale and playing hands together 4 octaves up and down are several steps. You know, hands separate 1 octave and 2 octaves, and hands together 2 octaves. And then finally at early intermediate level, I have hands together 4 octaves. And only then do I ask for that. Because really, how often do we see it in the literature? Parallel octaves, parallel scales ripping up and down the keyboard. We just don't see it. So I'm not in a big hurry to teach it. What I do want to do is make sure that students know how to play the scale beautifully and correctly, because what looks smooth sounds smooth, and I've got tips for that I can give you at another time. But that's my big goal, is that they memorize the fingering and that they play it, they're able to play it so that it's musical. Because most of the time you just encounter a right-hand scalar passage in classical literature, and maybe, you know, one hand or the other in romantic. So hope that's helpful to you for introducing scales.